So welcome to the Medieval Daoyin Study Group sessions. And so thank you also for those who join me live. So really wonderful. So then we can have a, interesting conversation together and discussing all the various exercises. And we're now going to look at the qi disorder. So this is on chapter 38. And so it's starting with the symptoms of rising qi. So that's in Juan 13. So I think I'm going to just start reading, and then we can start get into the disease description.
Can you say one more time the page, Dolly?
Oh yes, sorry. So it's
230?
page 230.
Oh, it's 230. Okay.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, so all disorders are produced by qi, hence, anger makes qi rise, joy makes qi slow down, sorrow dissipates qi, fear makes qi descend, cold makes qi gather, and heat opens the pores, letting qi leak out. Worry makes qi chaotic. Overexertion exhausts qi. Too much thinking knots qi. These are the 9 different qi. Then the next section, anger reverses qi. In extreme cases, there will be vomiting of blood and food as the qi reverses and rises. Joy harmonizes qi, flourishing and defensive qi moves slowly and smoothly without obstruction. When there is sadness, the heart network tightens, the lungs expand and rise, causing the upper burner to be blocked. Flourishing and defensive qi cannot disperse, and heart qi stays inside. Thus, qi disappears. When there is fear, essence declines. When essence declines, the upper burner is closed and qi returns. When qi returns, the lower burner becomes bloated and the qi is stuck. If there is cold, the channels and their network vessels congeal and are impeded. And then qi gathers and becomes restricted. Heat opens the pores, and when flourishing and defensive qi are flowing smoothly, a great sweat breaks out. When there is a worry, the heart has nothing to rely on, the spirit has nowhere to return to, and the thoughts have nothing to fix on. Thus, qi becomes chaotic. When there is overexertion, there is panting and sweating. Because both inner and outer are in excess, qi becomes exhausted. Too many thoughts restrict both body and heart. The qi remains not moving, thus become knotted. So it feels like the second paragraph is more like a more elaborate than the first one. The first one kind of introduced those 9 different qi with
Mm.
the to do with the like emotions, if you like, but also hot and cold, and then or overexertion or too much thinking. And then the second part is parallel to the first one, but it's a lot more in details as to how that qi get blocked or reverse or yeah. So, are we happy with that? Are we any kind of insights from this description of the disease section? So, or
I,
just,
I
or
like
just, hmm.
I was just gonna say I like that it's sort of cohabitating emotion as movement of chi
Mm,
with environmental exposure, right? So we have heat and cold, opening and closing, sort of like the
mm,
exchange between inside world and outside world.
mm,
Um being in the same category as emotions, right? So we have
Anger,
we're
joy.
influenced by our inside thoughts, but we're also influenced by our outside
Hmm.
where we are in the outside world as well, and how we interact with the outside
Yeah,
world.
yeah.
So like
So,
overwork is almost like in the same disease category as anger.
yeah, so you have the internal chi produced by those emotions, but you also have external chi produced by environmental elements.
Hmm.
So, so yeah, so if they're not in harmony or if they are not regulated, then there will be problems. So, okay, let's move on to the next section. It's all about pulses. If when diagnosing the pulse at the twin opening, it is hidden, there is a reversal of qi in the chest. All qi has rushed up into the chest, thus there is rising qi. The face becomes swollen and the shoulders move with the breath. If the pulse is floating and big, there will be no cure. Rising qi is indicated by an irritated pulse and shortness of breath. This is a disorder of the lungs, which are swollen, producing wind and water. I'm not quite sure about what this means actually. It can be cured by sweating, so sweating out, and overflowing pulse indicates a qi disorder. If the pulse is feeble, calm, and concealed, there will be a cure. But if the pulse is firm and strong, there will be death. If the breath is short while bending and stretching, and the pulse is slippery, but the hands and feet are warm, the patient will live. If the pulse is not smooth and the extremities are cold, the patient will die. If there is rising qi with a rapid pulse, there will be death because the form, i.e., the body, has been damaged. And then we have this the formula that introduced the exercises or the Yangshen recipes. So before we get to that point, there's part that which I'm not sure about this is sort of fifth line down. It said this is a disorder of the lungs which are swollen, producing wind and water. I mean, does the lung do that? Is that possible to have like
The lungs are like the upper source of water, I believe. I might be getting that quote wrong, but they're in relationship with the kidneys in terms of water distribution, right?
okay.
So
Yeah.
the lungs disperse the fluids out to the pores.
Uh-huh. So it's possible for the lungs to be swollen, and then the swollen is because of the fluid in the lungs.
Yeah, so what they would, I think you would couple it with, the face becoming swollen and the
Mm.
shoulders moving with the breath. So that's like a labored breathing.
Yes.
So you can have lung like organ edema, especially in the upper body, the hands and face,
Hmm.
when wind is if you have wind closing the pores so that the lungs can't disperse fluids as sweat, then you can get puffiness in the upper body. So I would say that this is somewhat in line with modern TCM theory.
Okay.
Yeah, that
I'll just
makes
add
sense,
that I
doesn't it?
think the producing part of the water
Yes.
might be what Jesse was saying as well, is that it's just not performing its part of the water metabolism process. So it's not producing it per se, but it's not participating in the process
Okay.
effectively. So everything gets trapped in there.
Okay. Also, I mean, the pulses feels like it's rather serious, some of them, you know. But if I was just reading the descriptions of the diseases, with those kind of internal, external qi being not in harmony with the body or problem excess, or then I don't know whether those emotions are so great that it will produce the kind of pulses that indicating that you will die. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
was
mean,
also, oh, sorry.
Because too much anger, I mean, okay, too much joy, too much sorrow, too much fear. I mean, you're not going to die from those emotions, are you?
But maybe it's a combination. So when there's, I think, but that's also because I was wondering a little bit, and I read also that in the previous sector that
Yeah.
some they look pretty serious conditions, whether you're alive or dead. So maybe it's not only the emotions, it's really also then because they in the in the paragraph before they talk actually the combination of external factors. So
Mm.
I think there is an external factor involved in if this is so serious. This is not only emotion, I think, but
Yeah, it feels like it's sort of the extreme form of those chi that is, which, which might be in its extreme form, then that will be the results. Well,
I think that we might be mistaking it a little bit in terms of this isn't necessarily happening all at once,
okay.
right? Like, while sure you can have a fit of rage and have a heart attack, I think that this might be like too much anger might be like over 30 years,
Hmm.
right? Or like too much
Sure.
worry might be over
It's a
30, like a long period of time. And so it's like, it's not just like one event that is causing, things to lock up or become
yeah,
fatal,
sure,
but
sure.
I see all the time in clinic people who like have unresolved behavioral patterns,
Hmm.
where they will be a worrier for 50 years,
Sure.
right? And then it's like it accumulates over time, the nodding of the chi,
Yeah.
whatever the
Okay.
pattern is,
Right,
it's
right,
like the
right.
gradual effect of like being in that mind state or having those
Sure.
tendencies for so
All
long.
those emotions.
yeah,
Yeah,
although at
for
the
a
same
very
time, I
long
would
time.
say you could have, I know instances where strong emotions can have very direct effects, not that detrimental that you will die. But I
Mm,
can give you an example of a case, a woman who got angry in the traffic and she starts really immediately very heavy bleeding afterwards.
Mm.
And actually, that's a kind of trauma problem, you know. So,
mm,
that's also a kind of counterflow, but it doesn't go up, but then it goes down actually.
yeah.
So emotions can have also direct, pretty severe effects.
Mm,
Maybe not you're gonna die
no,
directly.
no.
Although there are also, we know that from cardiology, you know, people can be so upset that they
It
get a
can
heart
happen.
attack.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
happen. So it is true, you know. So
It
yeah.
feels as if that the moment, so the pulse diagnosis feels like it's sort of at that particular moment, then you realize, okay, well, this pulse is like very firm, very strong. So that, for example, then it says there will be death. So that means it's almost like it's not like the person is going to die straight away, but you kind of can see that if it's carrying on, isn't it? Because it seems like the condition is chronic, but the moment that the pulse being diagnosed, there is a tendency of understanding this person will be in deep trouble.
Yeah, it's difficult to
Is that
say
right?
because in the Neijing also you have these pulse descriptions and then it's really they give you also these very clear descriptions. I never felt well, I felt people when they were dying and sometimes you can feel these pulses, but
Mm,
um, they are actually very clear that it's an indication somebody is going to die. That's
mm,
not so clear here. I don't know whether it's something which shows you, oh yeah, if you feel this pulse, it might somebody might is is going that direction of dying. But here actually I don't read the Chinese, but if I read if there's a rising qi with a rapid pulse, there will be death. So
mm.
that looks quite
Quite dramatic, isn't it?
quite dramatic, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, the pulse is not smooth and the extremities are cold. It feels like, well, not. I can imagine a lot of people are like that.
Well, we see many of these
Pulse
people
is
in the
not smooth.
clinics. I had people with rough pulses and cold extremities, and they're not
Yeah,
on the verge of dying.
they're
But
not.
so I think, but it's difficult to that's again that's also the challenge with these old texts to figure out what they really meant at that moment in time, because I think it looks really like very acute disorders. So people are really maybe in some cases on the verge of death. I don't know.
Yeah, well, as I said, I think it doesn't mean like the person going to die immediately, but it's almost like it's a prognosis. That means that they then, this person, if that's going to be the case, if the person carry on like this without making any, um, drastic actions, then they will die. I don't,
Yeah, but
I
it's pretty acute. So I
feels
would,
quite acute, is it?
yeah, and it reminds me to these pulses you read, and you should compare with the Meijing and the Neijing, where you have these specific pulses which gives an indication that the patient is about to die. But then
Rise. Mm.
in this context, I'm not so sure. So you could be right that it's just an indication that somebody's on the wrong
Yeah.
track, and you still could do something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how how acute these are. Um, so okay. Well, then the orthodox prescriptions for decoctions, hot packs, needles, and stones are given elsewhere. The Yangshen supplementations and Dao instructions are now attached below. So in this text, they only give you the Yangshen recipes and Dao instructions. Right. Okay. So the Yangshen recipes says, when drinking, do not swallow quickly. Otherwise, after a long period of time, you will develop a qi disorder. Okay, you happy with that? I mean, don't drink too quickly, otherwise.
It's a little like challenging because they just talk so much about emotions, and then this is such like a
I
so
know.
I wonder like you know generally we talk about gulping water as a sign of heat, and so
Mm,
maybe heat in the system,
right.
if left untreated, will add fuel to the fire of like the chi disorder. It's hard, or if it's the water going down quickly and not being, it comes in a flood and not sipping it over time, maybe your body can't handle it and that causes the chi disorder. It's hard
So
to say.
is there a merit of like sipping the water? Is there a merit for that? Like,
Apparently, based on
but okay, but what is the merit?
I think it's just a sign that you're not rushed, that you're content, that you're, able to like relax and enjoy your where you are instead of, rushing through or panting and
Yeah, but then after running, yeah, then you
Mhm.
like die of thirst, and then you're gonna drink very quickly, yeah. So it's kind of it's sort of contextual. It's I don't know, but then it's yeah, it is crazy because this is definitely nothing to do with emotions that we just heard. The only thing that could do is to do with the cold and the hot, yeah. That's coming from the outside from the water in this instance. So the water, I imagine, maybe is cold water, and then you swallow it very, very quickly. Um, and then what? So will cause if it's cold, it will makes the qi gather, and the hot, like if this heat open the pores. Okay, well, I mean, that's kind of one of the scenarios in this qi disorder, if it's relating to the drinking water being too quick. Anyway, so that's the advice given. So let's look at the Dowing exercise. This is really, really challenging, and I'm not sure if the illustration is correct. I hope it's not correct, actually, because otherwise it's very, very painful to do. The Yangshen recipes, the Dowing method says, bringing both hands together behind your back. Press them against your lumbars. Then the next section it says, with fingers pointing up as much as possible I just want to let you know that that is my interpretation. I should put it in a like a square bracket because that whole subsection, if you like, with fingers pointing up as much as possible, is interpretation because it's just 即是, so that's like quick posture, yeah. Okay, so shake and swing your arms and elbows backwards and forwards at least 7 times. Somehow your hands are at the back, and then you're bringing your arms and elbows back and forth without changing your hand position. So we can discuss how we're gonna what that position is. Move your arms directly up and down. So you're not moving your hands, you're moving the whole arms to and fro as much as you can, twice, 7 times. This gets rid of qi in the spine, heart, and lungs. Any congestion and compression will vanish and disperse. Okay, well, that sounds very promising. So the problem is this bring both hands together behind your back. That part is fine. It's the second part, and it's actually those 6 characters. It is to do with somehow you bring your hands together and you're supporting the lumbars against or pushing the lumbars, pushing it upwards. And then with strong posture, strong, so do it quite with quite a lot of force. So you can see that my illustration, which is on figure 148, you got your hands behind with your palm. And the reason why I interpret it that way is because of those 2 characters, which is 合手. 合 is together, 手 is hand, yeah? So 合手. But then if it says 合掌, 掌 is the palm. If it says 合掌, then I would then definitely be right. You would definitely need to put the palms together. But here it just says hands together rather than palms together, okay? So the illustration is kind of palms
Could
together.
it be like that?
Not necessarily the back of your hands together. Oh, you mean the back of your
Yeah,
hand?
because that's the only way I can sort of
You
make
can do
sense
it.
of it.
That's
So
also possible. A
yeah,
合手, yeah.
that
So,
particularly when you said the thing about the palms.
yeah, it doesn't say 合掌. 掌 is
Yeah.
palm. 合手, it just hands somehow are together. So another possibility is you can, instead of pointing upwards, which is really hard to do, is it possible to be pointing downwards? Because your hands together, if you bring your hands to the back, bring them together, 合手, that's
Yeah.
a possibility. And then another possibility is they just together, hands together, 合手, yeah, hands together. That's even that's easy. That would be the easiest. Or the one that you explained, Michael, you suggested will be
Yeah.
like this.
So
Hmm.
Dolly, what you're saying is that perhaps the hands should be like this.
Yeah, that would be would that be 合手, hands together, isn't
Yeah.
it? 合手.
Yeah.
Then if you just like
Yeah.
this, and then just use that to push your lumbar upwards. So
Yeah.
托腰, support the lumbar, and that will be quite comfortable without having to 合手 or 合掌. So it's when I was doing the translation, it's that 和 that I got completely stuck. And so that's the problem. So I thought we could try, you can try either doing this way, or Michael, you might try this way, or you might try just pushing it. This, I would say, probably is the most comfortable position. So we could then adopt this position, and then you just then need to, once you're in that position, shake and swing your arms and elbows backwards and forwards at least 7 times. So not necessarily very fast, but just need to go forward and back.
Can I make a comment? Or
Sure.
so the part afterwards where it says "ji sure,"
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know,
Quick,
I
quick.
think that that might be a clue as to the type of way that the hands are put together because
Okay.
to put my fingers up, I can do it, but
Yeah,
it's
you're
a
not
bit
going to.
it's not quick to do that, right?
I know. It's,
You
I mean,
know,
I can only just about to be able to do it, but
yeah.
with great discomfort.
So I mean, what I'm thinking is if it's just like quickly, but
Yeah,
you want to be able to put a lot of force, like if I sort of grasp my hands
hands,
like
right.
this, and
Yeah,
I can push in, like I have more strength to push
yeah,
in,
yes,
and it's also very quick because you just come
yeah,
together, right?
right. Yeah, 及时.
So that would be my
Yeah.
thought.
Okay, yeah, that's good because then what you do then, you're gonna push it almost like pushing your lumbar up. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
You've got this kind of
Yeah,
feeling
you
up.
you can do that without necessarily having to grasp them, can't you?
Yeah.
You know, it's
Or you're sort of pushing, just
yeah,
pushing them upwards.
yeah.
Yeah, I
And
think that
then,
they are connected in somehow. Like he means to
yeah,
like unify, right? So it's your two hands are coming together as one
yes,
somehow.
join together. Yes.
Yeah,
And then once you sort of locked into that position, pushing the lumbar upwards, you then shake your elbows and arms back and forth.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wonder if you, I mean, if it's, if I'm teaching this, I tend to think about, oh, how do you breathe when you're at this point? So, so tend to be like you breathe when you're pushing the elbows back because you're opening the chest, isn't it? And then relax.
Depends how slowly you do it, though, doesn't it?
Then I do tend to do it slowly.
Yeah.
But then yeah, 正摇, I suppose here it does feel like you need to do it faster, isn't it?
Mm.
so
Yeah.
maybe if you
So
inhale as you press in and then exhale and shake 7 times.
all right. Wow, I mean, it does feel the arms start to get quite painful actually.
They do, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of feel like it's doing something.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yes. Okay. And then it says hands not moving. Then you're gonna go straight up and down, straight up and down. Well, that is also quite challenging, isn't it? Because you're only moving the shoulders.
Well, I guess what you're doing is massaging the lower part of the spine, isn't it? You know, the
Right.
sort of
Okay.
the concave arc of
Right.
the lower
Yeah.
spine, lumbar spine.
Mm. Which is quite nice. It's a nice
Yes,
feeling.
isn't
But at
it?
the
Yeah.
same time, I can feel the tension on my sort of upper arm though as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
It's like trying to lift it, so it giving pressure to the sides
Yeah.
of the shoulders, the arm.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you do that. Again, it's extreme posture. 静式, 静 is like extreme. Same with 急. And then 来去, so coming and going twice 7 times. And then this gets rid of qi in the spine. So I suppose, yeah, the pushing up is going
Yeah.
to help to disperse the qi. And then also with the heart and the lungs, because if we're doing forward and backwards, obviously that's going to affect the heart qi and the lung qi.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah.
congestions and compression, yes, will vanish because you're kind of shaking it, changing it. So yeah, this is possible. So I think we're not going to adopt the hand position on figure 148. We're just going to like hold it like that.
Yeah.
I
Um,
feel like it would say fingers upwards or palms together if it wanted us to do that.
Yeah, it
I
just
think,
there is 向上. The 向上could refer to the hand somehow facing up as well.
But couldn't it just mean sort of something like that? Just
Mhm.
pushing as much as
Pushing
you, just
up.
so
Yeah,
as much
right.
as you can.
Yeah. You know, the 向 is because 向 is facing up. So you got
Mm.
something has to face up.
well, the palms are sort of facing up here too. Like, the
All
palms are
right.
facing
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
that way.
Palms facing up.
Yeah, instead of the
合手.
fingers.
Oh yeah, okay. 合手
Well,
向上.
together
So your
behind them, press
palm.
them.
This actually feel quite nice, isn't it? Because you're almost like massaging your
Yeah.
lower back.
After
But
it says to move the hands up and down, it says Jinshi, and I just want to try and like, so we have Jishi, we have Jinshi, and we have
then,
Zishi. We've seen all of these as three different descriptors of like how to
yeah.
invoke the action, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Jin, like, I'm just looking at the dictionary, it
Okay.
says to also to the utmost or to the limit
Mm-hmm.
as a possibility. Like to try your best to
Yeah.
give it your all, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm just curious, like if we compare this to the G-sure, which is sort of also to the utmost, but possibly
Yeah.
like with polarity, like
Yes.
uh maybe this is like you're really pushing like I this might be more indicative of like pushing to your as hard as you can
Oh, okay. Okay. Right.
versus creating like a dynamic stretch between two
Okay. So
opposing
one is more
lines.
about the actual position. The other one is more about your own capability, your own sort of intention of trying to do it as much as. Yeah, I mean they're quite similar in a way.
Hmm.
Yes. So there might be some nuance. Um, yeah, Jing is definitely like completely like too extreme, really. And then Ji also has got that connotation
Can I
as
say something, Dolly?
yeah, please
I just
do.
tried it. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Are
have
you all
to do
right? Are
some,
you still
yeah,
okay?
I have to do some work in between,
Oh, no problem.
but I feel when I do the when actually when I try to put the palms together upwards because that's how I would read the text. So
Okay.
as much as possible, you have also a different feeling. So actually, it opens the chest.
So with your hands in what position?
So in the position, let me switch on the camera.
Camera,
I
please.
have to come
Yeah.
back 1 second because otherwise something goes wrong here. Yeah. Um. So
Hmm.
I try this on my back. Of
Right.
course,
Okay.
I can't do it completely,
No.
but I but when I do like this, it feels of course it feels comfortable,
Hmm.
Yeah.
but there's a completely different effect. If I do like this, it really opens the chest. You you make more. It creates more tension.
Yeah.
But I
So
mean, if you even if you're doing like this, yeah, you're
yes,
still trying to push. You need
yeah.
to
If you
feel
push, you
that.
also have that kind of effect. So
Yeah. So when you're
maybe at least it's more comfortable. I would agree.
yes,
But I
that's
think
right.
when you read the text, the intention is really to do like this.
Somehow something is facing up,
Something facing up. Yeah.
but not necessarily the 合手, because if it's
Yeah.
合掌,
Yeah,
then we
yeah, I
got it.
agree.
Then we
Yeah.
definitely got it. But because
Yeah.
it's 合手,
That's how it could be. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
hands together in what
Yeah,
way?
so it could be different. Could be different. But still there is that upward movement. But
Yeah,
maybe you're
yeah.
right. Like what you do makes sense actually. Just and then push upwards like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so in a way, the pushing upward is referring to this pushing the lumbar upwards. So rather than your hands is also at the same time pointing upwards.
Uh-huh,
I
okay.
think this
Yeah.
is like almost like interpreting this shang to refer to both things. One,
Uh-huh.
your fingers pointing up, and then also you're pushing the lumbar up.
Uh-huh. Yes.
But if we're not worrying about the hands having to put fingers having to push up, we're just trying to push the lumbar up, then we are locked into this position, and then we then need to then move, shaking and moving the elbows and arms.
It's
That
more easy also to move because if you really put your hands together, I like the feeling in the chest, but then it's very hard to move your shoulders. And the way you do it, it's much more easy to
Yeah.
do
yeah,
like that. So I would agree. Maybe that's a better.
I think
Practical
so.
definitely is much more easy to do for sure. Yeah.
Yes, I mean practically, I mean if you're gonna use it in a class,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
you're
you
gonna
sure.
you will need to definitely start with this kind of.
Yeah, you need to start with that. Yeah, you sure.
I
No,
mean,
it makes sense, and especially with the movement of the, because I was thinking at the initial, I feel there is a difference when I do that, like this, that
yes,
it
right.
creates more somehow more opening and tension. But
It is.
then on the other side, if you want to start to move your shoulders, that's almost impossible. In that you lock yourself in a way also.
Yes, I mean,
No, it's
it, it,
possible, but it's more
it's
difficult.
only possible if you keep practice.
Yeah, you need to practice a
It's
lot.
not possible the first time, but then, like many things, if you keep persevere, you will get there. But for this one, I think, yeah, I mean, sometimes it's a little bit like, when we think about this posture, do you remember? And you have
Oh
to
yeah,
hold your breath 9 times,
yeah,
kind of debating like what does night. So actually, you could after a while hold the breath and turn 9 times
sure.
from side to side 9 times. It's actually possible. And also raising the toes. Do you
Yeah,
remember
yeah, 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 sure.
raising the toes and hold that position for 5 breaths? I mean, again in the beginning it's almost impossible, but then after a while, okay, yeah,
Yeah, it's gone, isn't it? So
it's
it
fine.
worked.
But this one, I think we'd like to start with just
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I would agree that
um
that's definitely more comfortable
and
for
then
me.
合手,yeah. I mean 托腰, if somebody just say, oh, bring your hands behind, and then just if they don't use the word 合手, if they just say 托腰,
Hmm.
I'm just gonna be like put my hands here and then pushing up, and that's all I will be doing. And then I will start
Mhm.
moving.
Yeah, yeah.
But then because somehow the hands need to be somehow
They
together.
mean connected, yeah.
Yeah, they need to
Yeah.
be connected.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that. Those
Mhm.
the two characters makes a huge difference as to
Yeah,
how
yeah, yeah, that's
we do
true.
it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yes, Jesse, you want to say anything?
Well, the 就是胸上胸下, the upright or straight moving up, moving down with
Mhm.
with all your effort 14 times.
Yes.
Like having your hands locked there
Yes.
in your low back. I wonder if it is tricky to, like, if your hands are locked there, you're sort of, it's anchoring, right? So
Yes.
then if you're pulling your arms up, they're not really moving, but your arms are moving up a little bit and then pressing down.
Yes.
And I would just wonder, like, this is supposed to move chi in the spine. And so I was wondering about, like, visualization of like the chi going up and down your spine, like you're compressing your spine down to move your arms, lifting your spine up to move your arms up. And so, like, I think it's almost like you're moving the chi up and down, not to, like, the force is anchoring it, but you're sort of
Right.
visualizing the
Right.
chi going up your spine and down your
Yeah.
spine,
Yeah. I would
even when
say
it's not.
I would say this would be physical.
Yeah.
Is
Mhm.
it physically straight, facing up, facing down?
Yeah.
The reason being is like, and then it said 近视, as you said, like to the utmost postures, and then coming and going twice 7 times. So this is all part of like very, very physical things. You're not going to suddenly saying hands not moving, and then somehow the straight moving up and down is to do with the chi, just visualizing it. Do you know
But
what I
there's just
mean?
such little movement if the hands are stuck, right? Like,
your hands are stuck at that one place, but you are
Yeah.
still able to move move your shoulders. I mean, okay, small. It's not like that, yeah. It's not going to be
Yeah.
like that, but it's still going to be in that motion, but just not very, very restricted. So in a
But
way,
also not relaxed at all. Like it's saying to like you're really bearing into it, right? Like you're really putting effort. Let me see.
yes, you
So
are.
you really want it like you're locked in and then you really pull everything up,
Yeah, and then down,
press everything down.
pushing everything up and then down. Yeah, you're gonna feel this almost like a burning sensation.
Right.
Okay.
And I don't think it's by chance that also through this area is where the lung channel originates.
Right, yeah. Hmm.
So I think that it's a very intentional exercise that addresses in a very physical way all of these matters that it's saying. It's just maybe each individual will target it slightly differently depending on what their
Yeah.
main issue is. Does that, I don't know if that makes sense. Didn't come out of my mouth
Yeah,
quite as clear as I
I think
thought
it
in my
does.
head.
It just means I think we have to almost like not expect that we can do a lot of these exercises. I feel that we should not expect that we can just do it straight away. It feels like we kind of need to almost like get into it. You know, you're not going to be able to do it straight away, but that is there is a goal, if you like. And I think with this one, the straight facing up and down, that is definitely physical. It's not going to be like you somehow visualize the chi going up and down. Because then again, it's the straight after that is 静式. So you're kind of doing it with your utmost ability. And that will fit into this kind of hands not moving. How are you going to really bring your arms and, you know, moving your arms up and down? How are you going to do that? That obviously with great difficulties. But it's a straight facing up, straight facing down. So you obviously going to try your best to get to that. And then 来去二七. So yeah, going up and down twice, 7 times. So it's not easy.
From an anatomical perspective, it really isolates the levator scapula.
Right.
So getting your shoulders up and down.
Okay. And you're
Yeah.
pushing in the at the base of your spine, pushing
Yeah,
up.
I'm pressing quite
Yeah,
firmly.
pressing,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's almost like, yeah, you're locking in that position. Then you can then start moving.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, I mean, this definitely, imagine that's already quite hard. Imagine if we're doing like this. And then, so this then will be like moving forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. But in a way, if you can do it, you bring it will loosen it. Do you know what I mean? And then eventually you probably will find bringing your hands in this position not as hard as you initially thought. And then trying to somehow bring the shoulders up and down. Again, really hard. So, but it's not impossible. That's what I'm saying. You know, it's not impossible, but it just, yeah, it is difficult. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, what I found with these exercises is we can always start with something with slightly easier way in, and then as we get more experienced, we can then push it a bit further. That's my experience, especially with some of those kind of hold your breath and doing 7 times or 9 times or whatever. And I realized, oh no, this is hard. But yeah, but with practice, I think it's possible. The next one is again is like that. The next one, I mean, it's just crazy, yeah. It is so those who want to learn to breathe must first sit straight with knees and feet together. When you start sitting, first bring your toes facing towards each other while your heels facing outwards and sit up. If you want to be more secure and stable, bring your heels in to face each other while your toes facing outward and sit up. So that's a totally different position. So that's the one in the middle, the middle finger, figure 150. When you feel constrained and pain, because after you're sitting in that position, slowly raise your body as though you're going to the toilet. So it's just like you're raising up. And then then that obviously become your relief, yeah. Then you then sit up again. So every time you feel the pain, you kind of sort of trying to sit up, but then sit, so relieve the pressure and then you sit back up again. Anyway, and then every time you do that, you're kind of changing the feet. So the feet toes pointing together or away from each other. So once these two sitting positions become similar and cause no pain, then you start raising both feet, heels, and sit up with the toes facing backwards in the opposite directions. So that's basically how you would then sit. And then practice this every time you sit. It gets rid of cold in the bladder, wind cold in the knees, pain in the feet, qi rising. So because there's somehow with this exercise to do with qi rising, so then the compiler of this text say, let's put this exercise in the qi rising section as well, and lumbar pain. So all these will disappear completely of their own accord. So, I mean, obviously we have seen this exercise, but it's really, really, I would say it's quite hard to do, isn't it? Do you find?
I don't find it too difficult, but one thing, I was practicing this the other day, and one thing that's different than in the pictures is the first line, it says, sit straight with knees and feet together. And I find that if I spread my knees apart, it's easier to do. So, like in the pictures, you can see the knees are sort of about, a foot apart, except for the last one, they're together. And so I
Mhm.
wonder if maybe like
Mhm. Yeah,
it would
so
be easier to do it like with your knees further apart to like
yeah,
learn how to do it, but
yeah,
then
yeah.
as you get more accomplished, then you can start bringing your knees closer together.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the end result would be like, like the figure 151, that the knees is together, isn't it?
Yeah, but the heels are twisting on
Mm,
their own. But when you separate the knees, it takes a bit of pressure off.
yes, that's right.
Yeah.
So when you practice with the first two sitting position, your knees almost have to point outwards rather than put them side by side. Otherwise, you won't have the space, would you?
You do,
Oh, you do
like
you?
you can do it. It's just a little bit more strain. Whereas if
Okay,
I
I
separate my
see.
knees, it's a little easier.
So the knees
So
pointing away from each other, yeah?
yeah, and then yeah, so like it's just the pictures I feel go a little bit against the instruction because
Yes.
you
Uh,
can do it with your knees together. It just takes a little bit more uh
yeah.
focus.
Yes.
And so I like because I'm just thinking about like transmitting this to other people. It's like
Mm,
a specific detail, right?
yeah. So yeah, I mean there is a reason why the illustrations tend to be not quite as faithful, depictions of the descriptions is because I have to do the demonstrations. So I would then take pictures and then the illustrator would then do the illustrations according to the picture that I take. So obviously you can see that those were the positions that I did. I obviously wasn't able to put my knees together as much as possible. But the end result is, yes, you do need to put your knees together and sit with your feet facing backwards. But when you're starting practicing with the first two positions, yeah, I think you're right, Jesse, is you trying to bring the feet wide first, and then gradually, if you can, then the knees then as closely together as possible and still do those two positions. Let's
Yeah.
try because I think it's hard to, let's try first. Take a few minutes of trying with different position and then see what you think.
And I would really strongly recommend if you have slippers or shoes, because I find when I do it without shoes, my toes get jammed up, whereas having a shoe gives a little bit more support to the toes and lets me
Oh,
focus on stretching the ankles and knees more, whereas
yeah.
so much of the twist goes into the toes. Otherwise, I found it quite uncomfortable.
Oh, I see. Understand. Right. What did you find, Michael?
Well,
Did you manage to do?
I couldn't do the second one at all. I found it
Oh, the
really
second one is
uncomfortable. But
very
funnily enough, I found the third position was
most
easy,
comfortable.
was the
Yeah,
most
yeah,
comfortable. Yes.
yeah. That's the idea.
Yeah.
Is is you do the harder one, back
Yeah.
and forth.
But
So
I think for me it needs a little practice because, um,
yeah, the second one is definitely the most challenging one, and I kind of was able to do it with almost my bum is on the floor. So, but I definitely need my feet to be knees wider apart, and then so sit down like this. So once
yeah.
bum's on the floor, then
Oh, I see what you're doing. Yeah,
quite
yeah,
comfortable actually.
Yeah.
But in order to get to this position is challenging.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah.
would recommend if probably like a step by step would be to start with just doing 1 foot out at a time. So
One.
1 foot's out, 1 foot straight, and then switching instead of both at the same time,
Yeah.
Oh,
because
you
it helps. It just like opens up the hips, so you can stretch one leg at a time without putting so much strain on the joints.
right.
To be more secure and stable.
Are you able to do it? Because I found it easier if I just kind of gradually sit onto it, onto the ground. But but yeah, I don't know. I wasn't able to do it before, but now I seems to have a bit more flexibility with my
Yeah.
legs. So maybe I have been practicing this.
Yeah. But is it actually saying that the middle one is obligatory? Because you start by saying if you want to be more secure and stable,
Yeah,
implying that you don't necessarily have to go through that step, or am I
I
misunderstanding
mean,
that?
it if it could be the word I use if that's just it's the desire the word
Okay.
let me
Yeah.
see yeah, it does ask you to make sure the two positions somehow are similar and no pain. Then you then
Right.
beginning to do the ones that with the feet going pointing
Um,
backwards. So and
so it's saying that the first two are kind of steps towards achieving the third. Is that what it's saying?
yeah, in a way, because once you can do that one like that quite comfortably, you will then be able to sit in that position because you're not going to just sit in that position for like 2 seconds. You're going to sit in that position, the third position, for quite some time because
Okay.
a lot of
Right.
the exercises require you to sit upright and then you're going to hold the chi, raising the arms, hold the chi 7 times or something. You're going
Yeah.
to be in that position all
Mm.
that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the first two is just then you're practicing moving, moving like this, like that, like this, like that. And then,
Mhm.
okay, painful, painful, painful. Okay, get used to it. It's a bit as if you're doing some kind of warm up
Yeah.
with the sitting. And then once you feel, your sort of joints and all sort of loosen up, you then sit in this third position which is supposedly to be the most comfortable one, but you do then need to sit in that position for quite some time. Imagine if you meditate in this position, if you're meditating for 10 minutes or 20 minutes in that position. So
Mm.
you got to be able to make sure your joints are all loosened up. Otherwise, it will be far too painful to be in that position. So I think in a way, the first two exercises are necessary to almost like loosen up the joints, making sure that, it's all,
Right. Okay. Yeah.
yeah. So, okay, so that's that one. Again, practice, 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 and practice.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one, next page, page 234. Again, it says face the toes of both feet towards each other. Stop after 5 breaths, and that's it. That's the exercise. This pulls the heart and the lungs and gets rid of the counterflow of coughing. So it gets rid of cough, basically, because when you cough, it's the counterflow of the qi and rising qi. So that's the benefits of doing this exercise. Force, this then gives you a bit more information, I think. Force your 2 feet to face each other and use use your intention and focus to pull the qi out of your lungs. Okay. And the patient moves by stretching, turning, bending, and lengthening, affecting the inside and outside of their lungs as they follow their inclination, this intentions without hindrance and resistance. It's interesting, it does use the word patience, 病人, yeah, so the person who is sick. So again, you kind of think that, oh, that's interesting. I mean, the text is, because this is a medical text for physicians, yeah. So then it's almost like writing from the physician's perspective. So if the patient is doing this, they need to then use their intention to pull the lung qis out, and then they are going to move their body, stretching, and so yeah. That's why you got the word the patient rather than you move by, you do this, you do that, but this is the patient is going to do this. Okay. All right. So it's simple exercise, but bring your toes towards each other. We have come across this exercise before, so but I think it's good to practice again. There's always
It's on page 80,
yes,
but it's different.
it's different. Okay.
It's it looks almost exactly the same, but on page 80 it says to stretch out your calves and arms, so there's more like a lengthening
Mm.
with the heels facing outwards and toes facing each other. So there's more of a inner and outer activation, whereas this one is just focusing on the inner activation, like the toes facing in. The other one
Yeah.
says to have the heels facing out. And then it says to inhale chi fully through the nose and take 7 breaths. And
Yes.
so the difference is this, I think, is more visualizing. I'm trying to figure out where you're visualizing, but maybe pulling the chi out of the lungs and down the legs and like out your feet. But it
Yeah.
seems to be
Mm.
more about the chi rather than the muscles of your legs.
Right. Yes.
Although there's overlap for sure. There's
Sure.
definitely overlap for sure.
Mm-mm,
Yeah.
mm-mm. Yeah, because
Um,
it does while you're pointing the toes, you are visualizing the lungs, the qi coming out and
mhm.
of your lungs, and then you somehow move your body in whichever way you feel good. Uh, is the intention is to draw this lung qi out.
Huh.
Um, but yeah, as you said, out from where? Is it out to the soles of your feet? Didn't say that. Um, but then it might, because if your feet are pointing down, you're gonna feel the tension on your feet. So the lung chi might be going down there. Do you think? We could try and then feel, because if you're turning your body, stretching it, again, that's going to affect the movement of the chi. And if you have the intention of moving the chi down,
So maybe you're like stretching your feet and bending
yeah,
and
body sort of doing like that
just
sort
sort
of
of
thing,
to try and pull
trying to
stagnation
pull
out.
the lung chi,
Yeah.
I would
So
say, yeah.
so
Hmm.
this is a little bit more of a full body movement than the other one that just
Oh,
focused
yeah.
on the legs. You're sort of
Yes.
stretching and you're allowed to like go with how it feels, I
Yes,
suppose.
that's right. Yes, yes, yes,
And
definitely.
then
So
like
you're in that position, and then you still need to then start focusing on the lung chi. It's the lung
yeah.
chi that you're working on, and then your body's moving because you wanted to bring this lung chi out. Um, so yeah, so it's quite similar but different. I mean, we might be using the same picture. I don't know. Is that the same picture?
I
Anyway,
think it's the same picture. Yeah.
same picture. Yeah, but okay. All right, but you're doing different things. So let's spend a few minutes thinking about or lying down. At least that's quite relaxing. So what I did, I was sort of trying to stretch my legs while my toes pointing towards each other. And I did trying to bring the chi, the lung chi, down towards my feet because it feels like that's kind of the way to sort of get it out. um, yeah. So because the idea is to get rid of the chi rise, the rising chi. So then if the direction is going down, and there's a lot of emphasis on the feet, especially when you're doing like this, it's create a lot of tension, isn't it, with your feet, in this kind of position
Mm.
while taking 5 breaths. then then the chi is sort of trying to go down. I mean, like even now I can feel sort of draining down more kind of feeling. What's your experience, Crystal?
What I thought was pretty straightforward,
Okay.
as I'm laying there, I'm like, huh, maybe this isn't as straightforward as I thought it was. I
Mm.
agree. The initial part where you bring your feet and your toes together, it was a natural sense to just, the chi needs to come down. It went to my toes.
Mm.
So that guidance was the part two that it says force the 2 feet to face each other.
Mm. Yeah,
And
极用力.
and so I thought, what's a good way to do that? And at first I kept my legs pretty straight, but then I thought, oh, bending and stretching and moving in an inclination without hindrance, well, I'm going to put them up higher and point them together. So I brought them up and put my feet together
All right, yeah.
and sort of moved the
Ah,
chi
okay,
down.
yeah, okay.
And by pressing the soles of the feet inward together and relaxing them, as well as my arms, kind of moving my shoulders to open the chest and then close it in.
Mm.
Um, I think the most confusing part about it is that it seems too liberal, and you're like, wait a second, what am I going to,
Because you
you
have
know?
so you're kind of stretching,
Yeah,
turning,
yeah,
bending, lengthening, but that's
that
just like
makes
the
sense.
whole thing, really, isn't it? The whole
Yeah,
body and the feet as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
But the whole thing is trying to get the
Mm-hmm,
lung qi out, and
mm-hmm,
so it's to pull the E. The intention is to pull the qi
mm-hmm.
in the lungs out,
Right.
and
It just,
yeah. So
yeah.
yeah, I mean there is this kind of extreme like 急用力, so use a lot of force to make the feet facing towards each other, and then
Mm,
you use your intention to trying to bring the lung qi out, and then
mm-hmm,
the the patient is going to sort of do that with the lungs in turn in an inside and outside, affecting the inside and outside of the lungs by turning, stretching, lengthening, whatever.
Mm.
Mm. I mean, it is not all that easy to do, I would say, because while you're doing that, it's already a tension, isn't it? You're creating a lot of tension on your feet when they're bent like this way. And then you're stretching. You are it's a bit like the hands got stuck at the back and then ask you to move your shoulders up and down. This is like, okay, your feet are bent like this, and then you're gonna move, trying to then focus on your lung chi, trying to bring the lung chi out.
Well,
Yeah.
what I did first was I started with my feet like that,
Okay.
then like that,
Okay.
and then like that. And it was when I got to this position, I noticed that my diaphragm definitely opened out.
Okay.
And I think that that's probably
Mm.
why it is
Why it's like
to
this?
enable to
Yes.
give the room and space because
Oh,
it took me time to sort of just lying flat on my back is not
yeah,
something I
yeah,
normally
sure.
do.
I know it's
But
hard. Some people, yeah, found it
but
really difficult. Yeah.
the thing that I noticed was the effect on my diaphragm and
Ah,
my sort of the lower lobes of my lungs kind of expanded.
yes.
And that made sense to me if we're sort of opening up to enable us to
The
direct
chi to,
the
yes,
chi
that's
downwards.
right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then almost that then enables all the
The
necessary
movement. Yeah, just
movement.
create a movement, isn't it, for the chi
Yeah,
to sort of come out. Also, you are using a lot of intention to almost like
yeah,
visualizing it going down, going up, coming out, going down, or
yeah.
yeah. Um, Yeah, I think this is quite an interesting exercise. Obviously, it's for very, very specific cause. So it's to do, I wonder if people, when they got cough, then they can try and do this exercise.
Well, do you think it would be good for asthmatics?
I kind of feel like it's probably, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something because, as you say, when you're in this position, you're already opening up the diaphragm. So that can only be a good thing. And
Yeah.
then that sort of visualization, trying to bring the lung qi out and, move around, bring the qi out
Yeah.
to
Because I can still feel it sitting down. That
this diaphragm is
yeah.
opening. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Hmm. So what's this rising chi then? I mean, is it
Well, I suppose it's counterflowing chi.
yes? So, but what does that mean?
Well, my understanding is that the lungs being at the top of the body will
Okay.
essentially express downwards.
Okay.
And counterflowing chi is when the lungs are unable to effectively do that as efficiently as they would like.
Right. Yeah. So then the chi rise up, rising
Yeah.
chi. So
Yes.
does that mean the person, what will be the symptoms? So the person,
Well, they would probably be choking and gasping, wouldn't they? They would
right.
have difficulty breathing if
Difficult.
it's counterflowing chi in the lungs. Um, you know,
Right. Hmm.
and that's what makes me think of, you know, because I've got a very close friend who's asthmatic and has to use
Right.
insulin quite a
Yes.
lot.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
And that's
because the inhaler
kind of
is
what he
to,
explain what he describes.
hmm. I mean, isn't it the inhaler is to force the pipe getting wider, isn't it? So the loosen
Something
the
like
pipe,
that. Yes.
not to
Yeah.
like restrict it. So,
Yeah.
but then this exercise is then if you put your feet in this position, naturally, as you described, the diaphragm is
Kind
getting
of fold
opening
the
up.
whole
Oh, yeah,
fold the whole physical and chi
yeah,
body
yeah.
open.
But it's also interesting that you said that you actually started with your feet like
Well,
here,
I was just curious
and
to see.
then
Yeah.
here, and then here, then you start to feel, ah. So then maybe again in the teaching setting, can ask people to just start with this and then this, and just so then to experience the differences, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hmm. So that will be a good thing to do to make once you then feel that opening,
Hmm.
then you then going to focus on the lung chi coming out. Use your intention to bring the lung chi out, flowing downwards, because you are trying to encourage the lung chi to go down
Yeah.
rather than up.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, great. I want to start chapter 39 if possible. So this is again to do with the qi disorder, and this is symptoms of sudden rising qi. So this is more acute, I would say. And oh, this one is very, very interesting. So I really would love to discuss this exercise with you. So let's read this quite quickly. So lung governs qi. If lung qi is unregulated, either deficient or in excess, the wind deviance seizes its opportunity, causing harm to the zang and the fu. Because the channels and the network vessels are blocked and become sluggish, their flow is impeded, and the qi cannot spread out evenly. Hence, it rises suddenly. Anger also causes qi to rise up suddenly in reverse. In severe cases with vomiting of blood, both qi and blood are injured. So that's the description. The orthodox prescriptions for decoctions, hot packs, needles, and stones are given elsewhere. The Yangshen supplementation and Daoyin instructions are now attached below. Okay, so this is like a sudden reversal of the qi caused by, it could be anger, But it could be also chronic, isn't it? To do with the channels being blocked because the deviants enter and yeah. Okay. All right. So we're going to read the Daoyin instructions. So the Yangshen recipes, the Daoyin method says, cross your hands and place them below your chin, pressing them against your chin as much as you can. This benefits the qi and cures violent cough. Okay, and then it starts to be a bit more elaborate. So cross your hands beneath your chin, pressing the vessels on both sides of your chin. Hold your jaw firmly in your crossed hands. Bring it forcefully towards your throat bone. Do this as much as you can, 3 times. It replenishes qi, making it full and abundant, cures violent qi and rising qi. And there's this 血喉. I'm not sure what that means. Literally means hoarse throat. Okay. The other disorders. It will adjust the breath, lengthening it. The voice becomes bright and clear. So there's something about crossing your hands and place them below your chin, pressing them against your chin as much as you can. But then there's also you need to press the vessels on both sides of the chin. Okay, how are you going to hold the chin firmly in your cross hands? So, I mean, do you think it is also possible that you are, instead of doing like this, is it possible you're also doing like this? Is that possible? Or do you think it's probably like this? I mean, I don't know. Could it be like this? 2 hands cross, place them below your chin, press them against your chin. I mean, is it this or this?
I think
It
if you do
feels
like this, you have a little bit more can give a little bit more support. Maybe you can give a little bit more
Yeah.
force, but I'm not sure either. Could be
I
like
find
this
it to be
too.
easier to apply force with the back of the hands here.
Yeah.
But that's,
You found it
yeah,
easier?
yeah. Like there's a natural squeeze, whereas this is a little doesn't feel as captured.
It feels more comfortable, with the backward. I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
It feels
so.
more comfortable.
Well, it
It's a
gets
little
right
bit.
under here, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's
Well,
kind of like,
Yeah.
so one point that needs to be defined is the vessels on either side of the chin. So when I've done this in the past, I have thought about the Da Ying pulse, like stomach 5, the
okay,
mandibular pulse, as the vessel on either side of the chin. But
okay,
it could be the Ren Ying pulse
okay.
here in the
So
throat.
you're much lower then.
So those are the two options. But like I feel like the I would be hesitant about putting too much pressure
I wouldn't do that. No.
on the
Why is
throat,
that?
right?
What? Tell me more.
Well, it's just a sensitive area. Like you do have your carotid artery there, right? So it's your main blood flow to the brain.
Okay.
Um,
But you
there
don't want
is,
to put too much pressure there?
well, I mean, here's the thing. There is a pressure sensor in that artery where when the pressure goes up, it sends a signal to lower blood pressure.
Okay.
So putting pressure there could be their way of sort of like, we have the sun rising chi,
Mm,
that pressurizing the carotid artery temporarily is a way to tell your body to drop chi downwards.
okay.
So there is like an anatomical functional
Re-
lever there, if
Right.
that makes sense, right?
Yes. Right.
So it could be that you're supposed to like get your thumbs in there and squeeze.
Mm.
it's like I don't think you'd be like you're not strangling yourself, so you can still breathe, but a little bit of
Yeah.
pressure on the neck, like it could be sort of both, even where the back of your hand is on the mandibular pulse and your thumb is more on the carotid pulse.
Okay.
And then, yeah, squeezing your chin towards your throat as hard as you can. And take 3 breaths. It
Mm-hmm.
does say hold the jaw firmly with the crossed hands. So I think
I've always read it as you're behind the jaw, not in front of it or on top of it. Like I usually kind of read it as hooking my hands in behind and using that space to just rest firmly without causing harm, right? Not to try and compress a vessel in any strong way.
So you're not pressing on the sides of your face, you're more on underneath then.
I'm more under, mine tends to be more underneath.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you could do both at the same time fairly
Right.
nicely.
Okay. So feels like once I've done 3 breaths and put my arms down, arms feels quite nice because it's now relaxed. And then, but also feels this part is quite relaxed, the jaw, because it was being squeezed and now it doesn't, yeah? So again, it's like sort of the feels relaxed. Same with the arms. The arms obviously was having to put so much pressure, sort of really, really tight. And then after 3 breaths, you kind of relax everything. You relax the shoulders and this part. And feels, yeah, feels this kind of relaxation coming up.
I really like this exercise. It feels like it really does a good job of being the opposite of like a sudden rising chi. Like if you think about someone getting angry, they clench their fists and clench their jaw and like lift up. And then to do this, we're sort of going, everything's moving downwards and we're
Yeah,
stretching our jaw, opening our hands,
yeah,
in the opposite direction. So it's really the opposite of like an angry pose.
right, right, right. Mm. Oh, great. That's basically what I want to find out whether this is the right po posture or not. I was kind of worrying about the hand position. But yes, okay. So if you think that is the right one, I'm really pleased about that.
I think it's correct. It feels good.
Feels natural with like this
Yeah,
rather than like that.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Okay. It does feels like immediately you kind of already can put yourself in that position, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's it looks like the character Jiao.
Jiao, yeah, cross. Oh, you mean yeah, Jiao. That's right. The third character after the 两手. Jiao cha, Jiao cha, yeah, make cross. And then chin below. It's self-extreme. And then it will then nourish the qi. This benefits the qi and cures violent cough. Ah, so somebody's got a cough. Again, this is something to do with the cough. Whereas this the one we just did, that's also to do with the cough, isn't it? The feet pointing towards each other. Great. Well, we've got a bit of time, or we can stop here. What do you feel like doing? because the next one is chapter 40. It's not too bad. I mean, we can make a start if you feel like doing it.
I'm
It's
okay. Like I think that's because it's a little bit more involved. I think that we could just leave it there for this week.
yeah. Okay. Should we do that so we can have a little break and then we can read chapter 40 next time.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, everyone. That was quite fun. We cover a few exercises, so that's good. Yeah, 2 chapters. Brilliant. Okay, well, thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Yes.
All right. Bye.
Bye bye.